Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Stupid Play NegativeAE, and welcome back to another episode of Steins Gate Zero. We're starting right back where we left off. I saw a dark blue van come around the corner of the underground parking lot. Its tires squealed a little. So I think we're Rintoro right now, or Okabe. It wasn't a Japanese car. It was a station wagon that looked like a sports car from some foreign manufacturer. And we just got done talking about the Rounders. With Maho, and Dr. Leskinen came in, and I guess we're leaving now or something. I don't know. I didn't know a lot about cars, but supposedly, if you purchased it from a dealer, it could easily go for over 8 million yen. The reason I knew all this was because the car's owner had told me over and over. Daru? And then the station wagon stopped in front of us, and there was a short bark from the horn. Associate Professor Izaki came out from the driver's side. While I was eating with Dr. Leskinen and Maho, he'd called me about something else. When I told him I was having dinner with the two of them, he'd offered to drive us home. Dr. Leskinen had tried to refuse, but Izaki had insisted so much that he had no choice to accept. He had a pretty nice car for an associate professor. This was the cause of a lot of speculation around the college. Some people said his family was rich, and others that he had the wife of some CEO as a patron. He'd once quietly told me the truth, that he was single and he'd spent all his money on his car. But who even knew if that was true? Izaki was acting like he was a professional chauffeur, opening up the door and escorting Dr. Leskinen and Maho. Dr. Leskinen thanked him and got inside. Maho went around the back to load up her luggage. Not bad, Okabe. Looks like you've won over Dr. Leskinen. He grinned and poked me with his elbow. You better not lose this connection, you know? For your future's sake. Right. He was a hard guy to hate, but for an associate professor, he seemed kind of shallow. It was one of the unfortunate things about him. He waved to me and opened up the driver's side door. What was that sound? About the same time I heard the strange sound, a hole appeared in the window on the front passenger side. Zaki screamed and fell back on his butt. The rear window exploded. What the heck is going on? I could ask you the same thing. I panicked. Was this some kind of supernatural phenomenon? I was too confused to move. There's obviously a silencer gun going on. That would be my first instinct, especially given the stuff I knew about the Rounders. And then in the corner of my vision, I saw someone. A man I didn't know appeared out of the shadow of one of the pillars. He was holding something strange in his hand. It looked kind of like a handgun. It was tiny, with a short barrel, and kind of flat. I couldn't see any kind of silencer. Who is that? I remembered him from somewhere. Does it look familiar? I felt like we'd met before. Where? I thought, but nothing came to me immediately. The man was standing there, mumbling something to himself. Woe to the world because of the things that cause people to stumble. Such things must come, but woe to the person through whom they come. If your hand or your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It'd be better for you to enter life maimed or crippled than to have 2 hands and 2 feet and be thrown into the eternal fire. And if your eye causes you to stumble, God gouge it out and throw it away. It's better for you to enter life with one eye than to have two eyes and be thrown into the valley of Hinnom. The name of the valley in eastern Israel, on the south side of the old city district of Jerusalem, the valley was impure garbage and executed prisoners were disposed of. Oh. And it was always filled with fires, black smoke, and a horrible stench. Human sacrifices. Got it. Terrible place. There was an aura of an intensity and madness about the man as he pointed his gun at us again. The souls God granted dwell within us. The children of God. They will never dwell within Silicon. Izaki stood up, turned around, and fled in terror like a startled rabbit. Get in the driver's side door. What? This motherfucker ran away? Damn! Drive away. If you run away from a gun, they can just catch up to you. If you drive away from a person standing with a gun, you're gonna freaking... I mean, yeah, you're gonna be an easier target. I don't know. I would drive. That would be my instinct. Is like close the door and immediately like press the gas. Maybe I risk crashing, but fuck if I'm gonna die anyway. Couldn't even imagine there was a gunshot, but this time the car's windows didn't break, and it didn't blow a hole in me either. He missed? Was he too focused on Izaki? But you won't be that lucky again. Move. Move, motherfucker. Oh, I am not driving. I pushed Maho into the backseat and crawled into the driver's side. Thankfully, the engine was still running. I slammed down on the pedal without even bothering to shut the door. Go. The sound of a powerful engine shook the underground air. The attacker flinched at the incredible noise and vibration. But the car didn't fucking undo the brake. It didn't move an inch because you have the brake on. Shift. You need to put it in drive. Keeping their heads low in the back seat while shouting loud enough to be heard over the engine. I took my foot off the accelerator. Glanced over at the gear shift. It was stuck next to the word neutral. It's in neutral? Do you not know how to drive? How old are you? Do you have a license? Oh my god. What? Move. And then through the windshield I saw the attacker ready his gun again. Yeah. He was aiming at me. Dodge. The look in his eyes told me he was ready to kill without hesitation. A soul will not dwell within Silicon. Crap. Cracks like a spiderweb appeared in the windshield. Something went past the side of my head. I felt a sharp pain, and at the same time, a ringing in my ears. And all of the other sounds faded away and started to disappear. I felt myself passing out. And then Maho jumped over the seat and slid into the passenger side. Close the door, now! My mind was pulled back to reality. I slammed the door shut just as she told me. Maho shifted from neutral to drive, and then I leaned over on top of me to grab the wheel. Floor it. I slammed the accelerator so hard that for a moment the wheels were almost spinning in place, and then the car leapt forward. The attacker was getting closer. We were going to hit him. I was about to take my foot off the accelerator when... Leave it! Maho shouted. Yeah, kill this man. This man... we want to not kill him after that? No. There was no impact. Evidently the attacker left the way. Yeah, see, he's agile enough. Fucking sent to kill somebody. But there was no time to confirm as the car raced through the parking garage. We were going too fast, and since Maho was controlling the cars from the passenger seat, she couldn't keep it going in a straight line. The car spun to the left and right, and I was almost flung out the broken window. I grabbed onto the edge of the seat as hard as I could. We headed for the exit, slamming into walls and pillars as we went. Who is that guy? No idea. Go right. I can see an exit sign right in front of us. I can't turn fast enough. I pressed the brake and put my hand on top of Maho's, turning the wheel to the right. But that was the wrong thing to do. The rear tires slipped. The car spun in a circle. And then it came to a stop. What happened to freaking the professor that was offered us a ride? He just ran away. He's dead. He's dead. He died. Are you okay? Yeah. What about the professor? I looked back and saw Dr. Leskinen lying face up on the seat, giving me a thumbs up sign. Let me take over. Right. I quickly put my hand on the door and get ready to get out of the driver's seat. Oh my god, he has a car. But then I saw an old creaky sedan rumbling towards us and shivered. It was the man from a moment ago. He was following us and moving really fast. Get out. He's going to ram us. This door. It won't open. Had it broken when we slammed into the wall? I grabbed Maho out of the passenger seat and rolled outside. Dr. Lessinen rolled out of the rear door. It was less than a second afterward that the sedan hit. If we'd been even just a little too slow, we would have been turned into mincemeat. So that man's dead too. I stood up and offered Maho a hand, then moved away from an unrecognizable wreck that used to be a car. Are you okay? Thanks. That man is crazy looking. That is a good depiction of what that man looks like. Both cars were smashed together. The attacker's sedan was completely embedded in the rear half of the car when we'd been driving. There was no way he could have survived. There were no tire marks on the ground, which means he'd slammed into us without braking. I shivered. I had almost been killed. Anyway, I need to contact the cops. I was about to pull out my smartphone when the security guards heard the commotion and came running. Excuse me, please call the police. The security guard nodded and contacted the police. Ow. It hurts. I could feel a pulsing ache on the side of my head. The shot from the gun had grazed me. I hadn't felt that pain at all when I was driving. I fearfully reached up to touch it and felt the blood flowing from my temple down to my face. I gulped when I saw that my fingertips had turned bright red. I almost saw Maori when she was shot in the head. I almost saw Kurisu when I'd killed her. The images felt like they were about to come flashing back to me, and I struggled to stay standing. You're covered in blood. Did you get hit? Maho went pale. Is this a bad place to get hit? There's something called the superficial temporal artery there? Wait. The artery located at the terminal branch of the... It travels from the neck to the head, on the temples. Didn't it do something? Didn't it do something? They were talking about it when, back in the thing. I have a feeling that's going to be a clue. I'm going to rewatch my video. Because isn't that artery, I don't know. Dr. Lessinen looked at the wound. When he touched me, I felt more pain, but I gritted my teeth to endure it. It's okay. You're not badly hurt. I'm glad.
これをお使いなさい。
Use this.
すみません。
Thanks. I put the handkerchief he offered me up to my temple.
襲ってきた人。
The guy who attacked us. He was the one at the seminar.
本当か？
Really?
覚えてない？
You don't
あなたが
remember?
逃げを出した相手よ。
That was the guy you yelled at. Oh. It sounded like he was insulting Kurusu, so I shouted objection at him. That was the guy. Was this his way of getting back at me? Not a chance.
神の与えし魂とは
The souls God granted dwell within us. The children of God. They will never dwell within silicon.
何？
Huh? What's that?
銃を撃つ前に
He was saying that before he fired the gun.
アマデウスのことかしら。
He talking about Amadeus?
さ
I don't know. I could faintly hear the police car sirens in the distance. The hotel security guards and staff were starting to gather.
なあこの状況
Hey,
どう
how do
説
we
明したらいい
explain
んだ
this?
ありのまま言うしかないわ。
We tell them exactly what happened.
私たちだって
I mean,
何が何
we
だか
don't know exactly either. Then Maho's eyes went wide. She, Dr. Leskinen, and the crowd were all staring at a single point. I looked too. And then almost screamed. Woe to the world. Such things must come. Woe to the person through whom they must come. Here they come. The man crawled out from the wreckage of the sedan covered in blood. And then he staggered to his feet. He looked like a zombie. All of his limbs except the one holding the gun were pointed off in impossible directions, and I could see what looked like a bone sticking out from them. His stomach was torn open, and each time he crawled forward, I could see major organs covered in blood falling out from the hole. But he moved towards us as if he felt no pain at all. It was such an awful sight that no one could speak. The man unsteadily aimed the gun towards Dr. Leskinen. He must have been on the verge of death because his arm was flailing around too much to aim, but Dr. Leskinen's expression was pure terror, and he seemed unable to move. Blasphemy. Soul. Whoa. Professor, run! You did not just kill Dr. Leskinen. Fresh blood. Oh, someone killed him. Oh. Fresh blood flew out of the man's body, and his body was blown away as if it had been hit by a truck. He fell to the ground, still clutching his gun. He tried to crawl forward anyway, but soon twitched and stopped moving. The crowd began to scream.
Huh?
What? The attacker had been shot? Did he shoot himself? No, that gunshot was clearly different from the last ones. Who's there? Who had just fired? I looked around. I could see several policemen coming from the entrance, but none of them had their guns drawn. And the crowd was nothing but security and hotel staff. I couldn't see any of them carrying a gun. So who had fired? And where had they fired from? And the way they took the attacker's head off with a single shot. Not just anyone could do that.
何が
What?
起きてるんだよ
What's going on? Of course no one told me. Afterward, the police took us into custody. We were taken to the police station and questioned until late into the night. The sun was almost about to rise by the time we left. The police took me home in a patrol car. Dr. Leskinen and Maho were having the police take them back to their hotel in Wako. So we split up in front of the police station. We never did find out why the man had attacked us. Huh. Okay, so there's a couple theories that I have. She felt dizzy. So now we're Suzuha. There's a couple theories that I have. One is that a time traveler knows all the events that are happening and is trained to deal with such situations. And then the other theory is that the Rounders are after us and they know that we have a time machine, or that we are talking about Amadeus. Maybe Amadeus is a problem for them. I don't know. Or maybe they want... I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's strange, Suzuha thought. She stopped moving. Since she was in the middle of the sidewalk, the other pedestrians looked irritated as they moved around her. She took a deep breath and waited for a moment, but she still felt dizzy. Actually, she was finding it difficult to stand. Was she hallucinating? Or was the whole world starting to get blurry? All the noise of the city around her suddenly felt far, far away. It was like she was driving underwater. Was this the reading Steiner ability that Uncle Okadina talked about? Was she starting to acquire it too? And then she realized how warm she felt. The truth hit her. Am I sick? Probably. She somehow managed to stagger back to the lab. It seemed she was worse off than she thought. If she could have, she would have fallen to her knees right there. During the war and afterward, when she joined up with her dad's organization, she had been hurt badly enough to go into a coma several times. But this is the first time something like this had happened since she became a time traveler. This is bad. She looked up to the second floor. The lights were on. She felt honestly relieved to know that her dad was there. She walked up the stairs. Or is he? Wouldn't that suck? Rounders are here? The door was unlocked. She didn't have the energy to speak, so she tried to silently take off her shoes. And then she tripped. She fell forward. That hurt.
Suzuha?
Suzuha? Itaru was in the room. He saw her and ran over. Are you okay? Yeah. She rubbed her knee and tried to stand up, but staggered again as she fell into Itaru's arms. What's wrong? I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little dizzy. Huh? Are you not feeling well, Suzu? Are you alright? When she heard those voices, Suzuha finally realized that Yuki and Mayuri were also in the room. She let her guard down, she'd realized. Yuki seemed concerned by Suzuha's obvious uneasiness. She walked over with a serious expression on her face. Suzuha, let me see your forehead. Suzuha brushed her bangs to the side and put her own forehead up against Suzuha's. Suzuha's heart started pounding. She had distant memories of her mother doing this before. You've got a terrible fever. Daru put his big hand up to Suzuha's cheek as well. Oh, you're right. Do you have a cold? I'm fine. This will get better fast. Don't push yourself. You need to lie down right I thought it was that, but I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm not gonna check that because it sounds stupid. But no,
ですよ。
that's right.
それは分かってる。
I know that. I'm just gonna rest for a bit.
休ませてもらうよ。
Suzuha used the last of her energy to reach the sofa. She collapsed on top of it and closed her eyes. Calm down, she told herself.
まゆし、濡れタオル持ってて。
Maybe she'll bring a wet towel, okay?
芦田さん、鈴葉さんの着
Ashida,
替えは？
where's Suzuha's change of clothes?
こっち。
It's here. It's all inside this.
もちろん僕中を漁って。
Of course, I don't rummage through it and go sniff sniff, you know?
くだら
What
ない
kind
こ
of...
と言ってるとは。風邪のウイルスを
If you don't stop being
伝染させてやる
stupid, I'll infect you with my cold virus, brother. Suzuha kept her eyes shut as she complained.
あの、適当に選んで
Can I just pick something out to change her into?
頼むよ。僕じゃそういうわけに
Thanks.
もいかない
I can't do it, obviously.
はい。
Yeah. As she listened to the conversation going on around her, Suzuha felt a cold towel on her forehead. How do you feel?
悪いね。まゆね。
Sorry, big sis Mayu.
気にしないで。
Don't worry about it.
僕ちょっと風邪薬買
I'm gonna go buy some cold
し
medicine.
ばらくよ
You guys take care of her. Okay,
いってらっしゃい。
bye.
鈴葉さん、起きられますか？
Can you stand up,
お
Suzuha?
兄さんが戻って
I
くる
want you.
前に
I want.
着替えだけ
I at
済ま
least
せてしまい
want you
ま
to
しょう。
get changed before your brother gets back. Suzuha opened her eyes. Oh, I like this song. Yuki was standing over her and looking down.
いや、このままでいいよ。
No, I'm fine.
今ま
Or
で
I'm
も
fine
そう
like
してき
this.
たし
This is how I've always done it. I like the awkward song that they play. In fact, before Suzuha became a time traveler, there were many times when she'd be unable to rest, even if she was sick. Many times she wasn't able to change clothes or even lie down. Compared to that, this was a lot nicer.
ダメです。風邪はひき始めが
No
肝心です
way.
よ。
The most important part of a cold is when you just start to get it.
でも、
But
でもじゃありません。
no buts.
早く脱いで。
Take your clothes off. Yuki was a little more forceful than usual as she tried to take Suzuha's clothes off. Suzuha jumped up, surprised.
わかった。や
Fine.
るよ。
I'll do
自
it.
分でやる。
I can do it myself.
汗びっしょり。
You're soaked with sweat.
乾いた
Mayori,
タオルは
do you have any dry towels? Oh yeah,
これ。
here. Yuki took the towel that Mayori had brought from the shower room and gently wiped the sweat off Suzuha's forehead and cheek. Or neck.
すぐって
That tickles.
少し我慢してください。
Just stay
子供
still.
じゃないんだから。
You're not a little kid.
けど、あ、
But this is like a just awkward version of the awkward song. Suzuha shook as she was rubbed with the towel. She wasn't used to being touched, and this was the first time since she was very young that anyone had done this to her.
もういい。
That's enough. I'll do it myself.
別に遠慮しなくても。
You don't need to worry about it.
遠慮とかじゃないから。
I'm not worried. Suzuha grabbed the towel from Yuki. Trying her best to hide herself from the gaze of the other two, she took off her clothes and wiped away the sweat. Her face felt really hot. She didn't know if it was because of the fever or not, but she was finding it difficult to think straight.
これでいい？
Is this okay?
はい。よくできました。
Good job.
あとはこれを
Now
着て
change
く
into
ださい。
this. She grabbed a new pair of underwear and clothes from Yuki. She was still trying to hide herself. She put them on. When she lay back down on the sofa, Yuki put a blanket on her.
まゆりちゃん、このお部屋
Mary,
で洗
you
濯
said
機
this
は
room
ないん
doesn't
だっ
have
け？
a washer, right?
いつも
Yeah.
それで
It's
困る
always been such a problem. Maybe she will take these to the laundromat later, okay?
え？
A laundromat.
そんなことま までしてく
Huh?
れなくていい
You
って
don't
ば。
have to do that.
こういう時はお互い
We
様
gotta
です
take care
よ。
of each other at times like these.
そうだよ、すずさん。
That's right, Suzu.
お腹は空いてます？何か食
Are
べ
you
られ
hungry?
そうですか？
Think you can eat anything? Suzuha looked at Yuki, then Mayoi, and was about to mumble another refusal. But in the end, she gave up and pulled the blanket over her up to her nose. This was really hard.
お腹はそんなに。
Not that hungry.
でも薬を飲む
But
前に食べ
you
て
need
お
to
かない
eat
と。
something before you take the medicine.
おかゆなんかどうかな。
How about rice porridge?
それいいね。
That's a good idea.
じゃあすぐに作ります。
Okay, I'll make it right away. Lie down for a bit, okay? Yeah. I like how the yeahs are like, I'm back. Dara came back from the drugstore a while later. Yeah, I'm so tired. He was really out of breath. He must have gone running there and back. You're only exhausted because you never exercise, she thought to herself. But for some reason, the sight of her exhausted father made her happy. She quickly shook her head.
ご苦労様、ダル君。
Thanks, Daru. I'm about to make rice porridge.
それを食べたら薬を飲ませてあげて
When
くだ
she
さい。
has that, I'll give her the medicine. Or give her the medicine. Doesn't Mayori suck at cooking stuff, though? Daru walked over to Suzuha as he answered. How are you feeling?
よくない。
Not so good. I guess all that stress has caught up with you. I never actually seen you take a break.
我ながら情けないよ。
This is really pathetic.
私、
Maybe
ここにいない方がいいかも
I
しれ
shouldn't
ない
stay here. What?
どこかで気が緩んでたんだ。
I've been getting lazy.
父さんがい
You're
て、
here,
ま
Dad,
ゆ姉さんがい
and
て、
Big Sis Mayu is here,
ルミ姉さんがい
and
て、
Big Sis Rumi,
いつ
and
の
then
間
at
に
some
か
point,
母さんまで。
even Mom showed up.
そのせいで、
Because of that,
時任務を忘れそう
sometimes I
に
feel like I'm going to forget my mission.
なんだか、この温
It
かい
starts to
時
feel
間は
like this happy time is going to continue forever.
錯覚、このまま戦争なんて起き
And
な
I
いんじ
found
ゃない
myself
か
thinking that maybe there'll never be a
と
war.
考えてしまったり、普通の女の子と同じような
I
暮らし
start
に
to fantasize about living like a normal girl. And what's wrong with that? When Daru spoke, his face was actually serious for once, and he was looking straight into Suzuha's eyes. It was the face of the father she knew so well, the man who was always there for her. So you're going to leave this place. And where are you going to go?
それは
Well,
マシンの中とか
inside the time machine or something. You know you can't stay in there, right?
でも
But you know I can't leave my daughter there, right?
とさ
Dad. For a moment, Suzuha was about to cry. She squeezed the blanket as hard as she could to stop herself. And then, whoops, accidentally gave a serious response. In that slang, the act of responding seriously to a post without joking around or posting memes. And that's exactly what a serious response is. Thank you, game. Anyway, I like being around cute girls, and I look forward to going sniff sniff when you're not looking. I especially like girls who are all sick and sweaty.
やめて
Stop it. So, you ought to get better soon, if you don't want me to be panting over you.
分かったよ
Suzuha whispered back a response and then turned away from Daru and pulled the blanket closer. Oh, did my little speech just solve your problem? Did I get a bonus affection point?
バカなこと言ってるとは
If you keep being stupid, I'll make you regret it when I do get better. Are you gonna put on boots and step on me or something like that?
指と爪の
I'm going to stick things under your fingernails. Please don't. Anything but that. Sorry. She could smell the pleasant scent of Mayuri and Yuki's cooking from the kitchen. Listen, Suzuha. Would you tell me what it is you're looking for every day? I might be able to help with it. Later. I'll tell you once we're alone. Oh, yeah, that's fine, but it's not something I can let Big Sis Mayu hear. Yeah, there's no way she could tell Mayuri. You're talking about Kagiri? My dual shock is low. Great. 3 days later. Suzuha was still sick. Yuki came over every day with Mayuri to check on her. Because of this, Suzuha was never able to eat nutritious food, and her fever had gone down. Now all that was left was to get her strength back. But still, Yuki kept telling her that she needed to lie down. This meant that, for better or for worse, Suzuha spent her whole day on the sofa half asleep. Somewhere in her half-awake mind, she heard a terribly off-key tune. Since she also heard the sound of falling water, it was probably coming from the shower room. What song is this? Do you know, Mother? Suzuha heard it when she was very young. Her mother had been singing it, just like she was now. But what exactly the song was about, she just couldn't remember. That was a weird sentence to read. I need to get up. I can't stay asleep forever. But even when she tried to open her eyes, they just wouldn't move. Her body must have needed more rest. Maybe Yuki was right, and she needed to lie down some more. This is 3 days later? So the Okabe thing has passed? Like, Okabe has told everybody? Or is Okabe just not telling people about this? She moaned and twisted slightly. When she did, the blanket fell to the floor. She didn't feel like she had the energy to pick it up. She could sense someone standing up from the desk where Adaru always used the PC. Whoever they were, they came over and put the blanket back on. Weirdly, Mayuri smiled and smelled good whenever even when she wasn't using perfume. It was a slightly sweet smell, like a pale white flower. The scent that had held her all night on that distant day in the future when she'd lost her mother. Suzuha pulled her legs inside the blanket and grabbed onto her knees like a baby in the womb. Memories went in and out of her mind as she lay there, half asleep. Do you think Mom got hurt? Do you think she suffered? She suddenly remembered what Kagiri had said to her after they traveled through time. "2036, the day when she left. At the last second, Mayuri had looked at Suzuha and Kagiri. Mayuri had looked at Kagiri inside the time machine and smiled. It was just like the gentle smile on Suzuha's mother's face when she died protecting her daughter. What if the sniper's Kagami and Kagami knows? No, that can't be.
すずさん、起こし
Susie,
ちゃった
did I wake you?
うん、ちょっと
No,
前から
I've
起きてた。
been up for a while.
何か食べる？
Want something to eat?
うん。
Yeah. After she said yes, Suzuha snapped back to reality. She was getting weaker. When she realized that, she forced her sick body off the sofa. Her head shook, and she had to stop herself from falling forward, but then she grabbed the back of the sofa and managed to stand on her own 2 feet.
ああ、ダメだよ。
Oh, you shouldn't get up so quickly like that.
もう平気。
I'm fine now. Sorry to bother you, big sis Mayu.
迷惑だなんて。
It's not a bother at all, okay? Mary went up to the kitchen and turned on the burner underneath one of the pots. The sounds and smells of bubbling stew filled the whole lab. Maori mixed it with a ladle and stopped every once in a while to taste it. She turned toward Suzuha and smiled. Ooh, it's a big success.
マヨネさんが作ったの？
Did you make it? Yep. Maybe she's getting a lot better at cooking thanks to Yuki.
兄さんは？
Where's my dad? I mean, my brother.
メイクインに行ったよ。
He went to May Queen.
あとは
He says he's got to work after that.
そっか。
I see.
ダルカンがいないからって。
You're thinking of going out tonight because Daru isn't here, aren't you?
でしょ。
You can't do that.
平気。
I'm fine.
平気じゃないよ。
You're not fine. If you do that, I'll have Yuki get mad at you, okay?
笑っちゃうから。私がどうかしたの？
What's this about me? The curtain to the bathroom opened and Yuki came out. Her skin was just a little flush.
すずさんがね。
Suzu won't lay down.
まあ、ダメですよ。
Oh, you know better than that, Suzu.
あと1日、おとなしくしてい
You
る
need to stay down for at least another day. Got it?
うん。
Yeah. Suzuha's answers was less than enthusiastic, but she gave in to Yuki's glare and sat back down at the sofa.
はい。そのまま横になって。
Okay, now lie down.
わかったよ。
Fine. She pouted and slumped down on the sofa, then pulled the blanket on top of her. Suzuha was capable of talking back to Big Sis Mayori, but she would never be able to talk back to Yuki.
何？
What?
すずさんって、そうして
I
る
was
と
thinking about how you look so
可愛い
cute
な
like that.
の
What?
今の姿をダル君に見
If
せたら
Daru saw you like that,
ちょっと
you
危
might
な
be
い
in
かも。
trouble.
そうだね。
Yeah.
時々
Sometimes I wonder if you're really brother and sister.
気持ち悪いこと言うな。
Don't be creepy.
あれれ？すずはさん、もし
Suzuha,
かして
are you
照れてます？
blushing?
照れてなんかいない。
I am not blushing.
本当に？
Really?
当たり前だろ。
Of course not. Why would I be
と言いつつ照れてるすずさん。
blushing right now? It's so cute.
萌えだね。萌え。
It's the cutest thing, really.
うるさいな。
Shut up. Suzuha couldn't say anything, so she just had to turn away.
さてと。
Okay, it's time for Mayushi to go to work.
シチューは食べていかないの？
You're not going to have any stew?
アルバイトの帰りに。
I'm going to stop back here after work. I'll have some then.
じゃあ、サラダか何
Okay,
か作っておいて
I'll
あげて。
make you a salad or
一緒
something.
に食べて。
Have dinner with us, okay?
ありがとう、ゆきさん。
Thanks, Yuki. I look forward to it.
楽しみにしてるね。
Mary told Suzu one more time that she needed to keep lying down, and then left for May Queen 9 Squared. Yuki went to the kitchen and added a few seasonings to the stew Mayori made, and then turned off the burner.
あ、そうだ。
Oh,
すず
right.
さん、
Suzuha,
汗か
you
いて
covered
る
in
でしょ？
sweat, right?
食事の
Want
前
me to
に
wipe you down before we
体
eat?
拭いいいって言
Huh?
ってるじゃな
I
いか。
told you, it's fine. Yuki wanted to do stuff like that every day, and each time Suzuha frantically refused.
シャワーは無理でも、 ちゃんときれいにしておかなくちゃ。
Even if you can't take a shower, you need to at least keep yourself clean.
昨日も一昨日もやったんだから。
I did it yesterday and the day before, so it's fine. It's not like going a week or two without doing it will kill you.
1週間って
A week? You can't do that. Absolutely not. Yuki hurried into the shower room.
あのさ、
Listen, I can do it myself.
そういうこと言う人に限って
People who say that never end up doing it themselves.
そんなこと
That's not...
ダメです。
No. Yuki came back with a bowl filled of hot water and a towel. She could be so stubborn when she got this way. Suzuha learned that well over the past 3 days. Yuki was just like the mother she remembered. She slowly and uneasily stood up. Then she took off her top, trying best not to let Yuki see her skin.
女の子同士なんだから。
We're both girls, so you don't need to be so embarrassed.
構わないだろ別に。
I don't care, really.
背中だけ私が拭いてあげますね。
I'll at least watch your back, okay?
いい。
Is that a thing that people do? Like take showers together? Am I out of the loop? It's fine. I'm not a kid.
でもちゃんと拭けないと思うし。
But I don't think that you can do it yourself. Like, is there a secret world where girls just take showers together and that's a thing that happens? I said it's fine. I must be out of the loop. Yuki seemed a little shocked because that's happened a lot. Happened twice in this one and once in the last one. But she quickly handed over the hot, wet towel.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
触られる
Some
の
people
が
don't like
嫌
being
な人もいます
touched,
よね。
right? No, I'm sorry
私
for
こそ
yelling.
悪かった。お湯、テーブルの
I'll
上に
leave the
置いて
hot
おきます
water on the table, okay?
夕
I'm
飯
going
の
to
支
get dinner
度
ready.
しちゃいます。
Yuki walked off, dejected. Once Suzuha saw that she was focused on finishing the cooking, she slid behind the curtains in the back part of the room. She used the towel and the wash bowl to wipe herself down. She couldn't let Yuki see her body. There were scars, both old and new, all over her, and burn marks that might never heal. To her, these wounds were like medals from the vicious battle she survived, and she didn't care who saw them. But she didn't want to let her mother, who had given birth to her, or rather, who would give birth to her, see them. Especially not the dozens of pale white marks around her breasts.
母さん。
Mom. She still remembered that nightmarish day. The bullets which had killed her mom had lost their power as they passed through her organs, but still managed to dig into Suzuha's skin. And when they did, they were covered in her mother's blood and flesh. The scars would probably never heal completely. To Suzuha, they were her mother's grave. She shook her head and tried to get the nightmare out of her mind. She took her bottoms off too, and then wiped herself all the way clean to her toes. And then she put on a new pair of underwear. It was only after she'd finished putting on the newly cleaned clothes that she felt human again. When she came back, Yuki was putting the bowls filled with stew and salad onto the table. Their eyes met, and an awkward silence filled the room. It's ready.
できました。
Yuki broke the silence first.
ありがと
Yeah,
う。
thanks.
どのくらい食べますか？
How much do you want?
いや、いいよ。
No, it's okay. I can do it myself. Suzuha put just enough stew and salad for her meal onto her own plate, and then made a plate for Yuki as well.
すみません。
Oh, thanks.
いや、こっちこそ
No, I'm
食事
sorry
の
to
用意
make
なん
you
て
do all
さ
this
せて。
cooking.
具合が悪い時は
I told you,
お互い様と言った
we've
は
got to
ず
look
ですよ。
out for each other when
食べ終わった
we're
ら
sick.
ちゃんと薬
Once you're
飲
done
んでくだ
eating,
さい
make sure
ね。
you take your medicine.
うん。
Okay. two sat on the sofa and filled their mouths with stew and salad. The stew had a mild, gentle flavor. It was something like Maori. It felt like something Maori would make. Maori's gotten a lot better, hasn't she? She didn't just take something out of a can and warm it up, you know? I'm pretty impressed. Do you want to try making it too? I'll teach you. Me? I'll pass. I'm not the type. I don't think that's true. Well, maybe someday. People who say someday never end up doing it, you know? You said something similar to that a minute ago. Did I? Yeah. And then the conversation ceased for a time. Suzuha slipped down her stew. She had terrible manners and tried to come up with something to talk about. This time, it was Suzuha's turn to break the silence. After what she'd just remembered, she couldn't bear to be silent around Yuki. That song you were singing, what is that? Song? You know, when you were taking a shower? Huh? Was I singing? Wow, that's so embarrassing. I'm a terrible singer, but I love to sing, so sometimes I hum things. I don't know if it matters whether or not you were any good or not. I just can't remember what song it was. Neither can I, actually. Huh? I just remember the parts were really memorable. I think it's from an educational show that was on when I was a kid or something. Sorry, but I can't help you. Huh. Suzuha, when did you hear that song? When I was a kid, I think my mom used to sing it for me all the time. Your mom seems like a really nice person. Yeah. The conversation flowed so naturally she didn't think about how she responded. Huh? Hey, 25% CG. We're getting close, boys. A second later, she realized what she said, and then she stared at her mother. Is something wrong? Mom, what do you mean? What do I mean? I saw her 2 days ago. Huh? I saw her when she came here 2 days ago. That's impossible. Is there some reason your mom wouldn't come? Well, I mean, there was no way that she could say her mother... There was no way she could say that her mother was right in front of her. Confused, she fell silent. So just Daru's mom. Yuki, for her part, must have come to the conclusion about the reason for Suzuha's reaction. She started to stammer and fidget. I'm sorry. Huh? I didn't know. Did something happen between you and your mom? No. You got into a fight and ran away from home or something? That's not it. It was weird thinking back. Your mom just brought Hashida some food and a change of clothes and didn't say anything to you. She brought my brother food and clothes? Yes. Huh. Suzuha thought as hard as she could until she finally reached an answer. Oh, so that's it. Yuki was talking about Daru's mother. In other words, Suzuha's grandmother, who she'd never seen except in pictures. But since she told Yuki that she was Itsuru's brother, it was natural that she'd make the wrong assumption. Is something wrong? No, it's nothing. If Daru had said even a word to her about it, this wouldn't have happened. How stupid. She'd have to give him a lecture later. While Suzuha was thinking about the talking to her dad was going to get, Yuki had already started to sympathize with her imagined plight. Suzuha, you can talk to me anytime. We can talk about whatever you want. For some reason, her eyes were starting to well up. Thank you. Suzuha didn't know how to react to this, but she felt a little embarrassed. Mom is really is a nice person. Just like she told Daru, this place was getting too comfortable, and she was starting to imagine that this life would continue forever. But sending this brief, happy time beyond the horizon of the world line was supposed to be Suzuha's mission. If she didn't, this world would be destroyed. We're back to Okabe. And at that, I might have to end the episode here. Oh my. Welcome back, Meowster. We're back to Okabe. This is going to be interesting how they pick this up from the shooting that just happened with Okabe. Because I don't know how Okabe is going to be thinking about that or like what happened. They're going to have to recap that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. I upload a lot of stuff, a little visual novel stuff, and a lot of roguelike stuff. So if you're into either of those things, it'd be cool to hang out. Anyway, peace out, you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next episode, whatever it may be. Peace.